Hello, it's Type here, the coach of the Helsinki High Jump Kicks, and today we are going to face Dorkman, the coach of the San Diego Charizards. This is RBL, this is the week 4, and we have a record of 1 win, 2 losses, and our opponent, I believe, has 2 wins and 1 loss. Pretty sure. So Dork definitely has performed pretty well. Losing to, I believe, was it Grant or DJJ, DJG, both who are one of the best players in this league, I believe, after me, of course. And I've played Dork once in Fella, and I know he's like people don't necessarily take him very seriously, but he's a good player and an example of that. The game that I played, he made one very clever play where I had a curse Kudra I set up against him, and he had an unaware Quagsire, which he realized that can break through my curse setup. I didn't, so he managed to kill my Kudra, but it had done too much damage at that point, so I actually won that game, as I did all the rest of the games that season. And well, let's I guess go into teams. First, I want to say, however, I'm pretty tired. I haven't had that much time to build. In the end of the last episode, I said that I will have to rebuild my team entirely. Turned out my new team was actually a lot worse because it was far too prone to set up. The change in I'll come back to the change in Doc's team, but basically I I'm here with my original team. And as you can see, it's Sun, but the rosters first. So I have Muse, Calm, Azu, Mega Houndoom, Zangrowth, Drugology, Ductrio, Braviary, Ninetales, Rotom, Executor, and Cloyster. And Dork has Mega Alaga, Zamterakian, Weavile, Malodic, Mandibus, Rotom, Cut, Aramadis, Bylethum, McMortar, Claydol, Licky Licky, and Dublet. So his the most recent change is he had Bishop, and now he has Weavile. And first I thought that Weavile is much more bigger of a threat, which is kinda is because Tangrowth doesn't check it as well. But then again, Scum checks it better than it does Bishop. So, uh, so yeah, like this that, and like they both have their cons against me, and they both have like their benefits against me. So it didn't matter that much in the end. And I'm not actually very concerned about his high tier threats. Like the biggest concern I have is the possible Stone Edge crit by Terrakion. Melodic can be annoying if I lose my Sun too early because I really rely on Sun in checking the Melodic. And Magmortar is if he brings certain Magmortar sets, they can be devastating. Like especially a sub Salakberry Belly Drum Mag Punch set just breaks through my team. And yeah, that sounds crazy, but if he brings that, he'll probably win. So, and I'm not even bringing a Focus as Duck Trio, so I can check that even with that. And Dewblade, I guess, could be a problem. I mean, I have Houndoom, which, especially in Sun, should check it pretty well, as well as Ninetales. But I don't really think he's gonna bring it. I hope so, because I have some mods that just stop it, such as Calm, maybe Tank Growth, Mega Houndoom, things like that. but I really hope he's not gonna bring it. It's also one of the few mons that can stop my cloisters from sweeping. Cloister is the sweeper I'm gonna bring, and other than that, once I get rid of Melodic, hopefully I'll get rid of Doublade. Cloister is just gonna be my win condition, but let's go to the team more in depth. So I have Ninetales, Damned Sun, and by the way, I have three mons making their first appearance this season, them being of course Ninetales, Tangrowth, and Mega Houndoom. So as you can see, I have Chartiberry Ninetales, which is 20 HP, 244 defense, 244 special attack with modest, with coverage of Fire Blast, Solar Beam, Pain Split, and Will-O-Wisp. So basically the idea is to lead with this, and then if you lead with Terrakion, I can take a Life Orb Stone Edge if it's not a crit. I'm not sure about Bandit. If it's Bandit, I can just bring in my Dugtrio and Revenge Kill. I can, I think I can check Melodic. I'm not sure. I know that Timid cannot, but it's very close. So I think that Modest can, and at least I have Will-O-Wisp to hit it to kind of slow it down, and then I know that Mega Houndoom will be able to check it anyway. It's very important to have a lot of pressure from Ninetales and Mega Houndoom and even Tangrowth to Melodic, because it's one of the biggest stops to my Cloister sweep, and it also is it's the same situation for Doublade. So I really have three mons that can put a lot of pressures to those walls that just stop Cloister from sweeping. Next I have I mean, let's say I could just that, you know, this coverage here is, it's pretty much all I need. It actually hits everything in his team except for McMortar, and it's very annoying because McMortar is such a huge threat, but I just have to try to play around it with Dugtrio, and if he is Belgium Mac Punch, you know, I'm not preparing for it, so he will win. I'll give him the victory if he brings that set. And by the way, I record these team builders before the battle, so I don't know what it's gonna bring. Okay, so we'll always be there mainly for the Melodic, and I guess also for the Doublade. I mean, what? I could run actually Toxic now that the Bishop is not a problem. What exactly is my reason to not run Toxic anymore? Toxic is superior right now without the Bishop actually. Yeah, I built this team when he had Bishop, but now with Weavile, Toxic is definitely better. So yeah, I'm gonna put Toxic on the Ninetales, definitely. Okay, then we have Tangrowth, the Pastafari. Yeah, and it's not Chlorophyll, it's Regenerator AV. This can check Megalag at some, it can check Terrakion, it can check Weavile from full if it's Life Orb. It can check Melodic as long as it doesn't get burned, and it can check, I guess, Claydol, Doublade to some extent. Physically offensive mainly to, you know, like physically offensive is very effective against his OU mons, the OU offense there. It's not the best against Melodic, but I have my fire types that focus on Melodic more. So that's that, and this spread mainly to just hit as hard as I can, and then some defense to be able to take an Icicle Crash from a Life Orb Weavile from full, and then just rest in death to take hits as well as possible. Next, the Scarm, it's just, this is supposed to just deal some residual damage to Terrakion if it's going for a close combat on Weavile, on Mandibus even, if I can. And just be my dedicated physically defensive wall. I don't think I really need speed, to be honest, but I mean, mainly the thing I need speed for is the Bala Plume. So to prevent being sleep powdered. But I guess Karmaru will be my sleep fodder anyway. We'll see. And then I have the Baskerville, the Mega Houndoom with Sucker Punch, Dark Pulse, Flamethrower, and Solar Beam. So Sucker Punch there mainly for the Mega Alakazam, and then just a lot of coverage. It's pretty much everything in his team, which is very cool. Outspeeds Terrakion and outspeeds McMurder prior to Mega Evolving. It's very hard. That's all about it, and definitely here to capitalize on melodic, especially. Then I have potatoes, the duck trio with Salakberry Endure. So this mon basically checks Alakazam and Terrakion, especially Terrakion when I know it's set. And Skarmory is actually very good for scouting because I can just switch it in and see what kind of damage the Terrakion deals if I can't see the item. And then actually, okay, this is a set I actually didn't finish yet. I'm probably gonna go with Modest because I mean Adamant because it gives me some KOs or damage outputs that I want over having the over the ability to speed style with regular Alakazam. And this mon is my best way to deal with a wall breaker McMurder. As I said, I will just lose to a Mac Punch variant, but it's very hard to prepare for that set when like you have to prepare for such crazy offensive pressure that Dork has in Mega Zan, Terrakion, and Weavile. And last I have, of course, I have Memento here. Memento Super for the support for the Cloister, Shazma's Icicle Spear, Razor Shell, and Sub. And I have Team Jolly because I don't need Adamant for anything, and with this speed, 244, I will outspeed a Scarf Terrakion, which I believe is his fastest Scarfer. I mean, Scarf Alakazam is a possibility, but why would he bring a Scarf Alakazam against a team that is this slow? Maybe if he wants to try to outspeed the Chlorophyll mons, I don't know. But I mean, Mega Alakazam probably outspeeds them anyway, so there's no point in that. And also one thing is that with having 9,000 tank growth, first I kind of want to make him expect that tank growth is my sweeper with Chlorophyll, and Cloister is maybe just like Hazard Stack or something. While in truth, tank growth is a tank and Cloister is my sweeper. So that's pretty much all about my team. Did I forget something? I definitely did, but obviously I can't tell what did I forget. Anyway, the battle will happen soon. Let's just hope that he does not bring a belly drum Mac Punch McMurder. So here we are with the battle, and as you can see, Dork brings a very bulky team, which is very interesting. There's no Alakazam, no Terrakion, and especially no McMurder, which is amazing. Because now all I had to do is weaken Melodic, preferably KO the Melodic and weaken the Doublade so that I can just sweep with Cloister. Skarmory, I only need pretty much to for the Weavile, and maybe to maybe as a sleep fodder for the Violet Plume, and what I was going to say, I had something that I wanted to say. What was it? I had something I wanted to say, but I just completely forgot it because I have no like notes. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I am going to lead off with Ninetales to get up the sun, as he leads off with Milotic, and what I decide to do first turn, I believe, is just straight up hit something in front of me, which in this case is the Mandibus. Actually, I go for Toxic first turn, definitely, because I want to get that some residual damage to the Milotic, but Mandibus completely okay as well. As I actually make a double into my Skarmory because I see this as an opportunity to um, get up my rocks as he just U-turns, which is interesting, and it's interesting because I did not watch his previous game where he had also U-turn Mandibus, so I probably should have done that scouting, but I have been a bit busy lately. So I can get up my rocks as he goes for Sleep Powder, and yeah, the Violet Plume, I mean it makes complete sense because um, because it checks out very well. I bring in my Ninetales because I don't really have any other switch-ins, and he gets a huge hit with crit and poison. And by the way, the thing I was going to say, I'm just going to say it very quickly. Having no Terrakion makes sense because I have Scam, I have Dactrio, both which respectively counter and check it very nicely. In comes the, I go for Pain Split on the Switch because all he has is in full health, so Pain Split will be overall my best play, even though Milotic is very obvious to come in. Now I have to switch into Scam and back into Ninetales in order to have some pressure on this Milotic. I don't want to switch into Tangrowth because if he goes for two Scalds, if he goes to Scald in a switch, I have a very high chance to get burned, and I don't want that. So I can bring in my Ninetales and just go for another Pain Split, as he's still in full health with all of his mons. So Pain Split is definitely a good play, as now he goes for another Scald, and I think I'm going to go for a Solar Beam because I'm modest, so it will do a lot, possibly over 50% if he's max defense, but he's not. He has a lot of special defense, which I actually didn't even realize during the match because I was very tired and I was like, okay, it's around 50, so it's probably pretty defensive, but it's specially defensive, obviously, but like it didn't make that much difference that I kind of missed it, but anyway, we're both gonna switch out as I bring in my Houndoom as my opponent brings in a Mandibus. That's fine, I get to fire off a huge flamethrower at something, and it's actually this Mandibus. It's easily going to die to the flamethrower, and luckily, I don't know, luckily, obviously the sun is gonna go down, so I'm not taking any solar power damage. In comes Milotic, and at this point I'm just okay. This is a risky play, kinda, because I'm gonna stack my Ninetales, get up the sun up one last time, and I think it's called, and because now if I can't kill the Milotic, it will be a huge problem to my team. So obviously I'm gonna hit that Solar Beam, not going to over predict or anything. I go for Solar Beam, and this is actually a very pivotal decision in this match, because now that I'm forced to switch into Tangrowth, and once again, learning from his previous match battle, Dork has now Thunderbolt, which he didn't have against the JG. he goes for Thunderbolt on the switch, and I get paralyzed. And this changes everything because now I actually have a mon that can 1v1 the Melodic. Because I can't get burned or toxic anymore. And because I'm Regenerator, not Chlorophyll, I will be gaining health every time I switch out. So in comes the Violet Plume, and I just bring in my Houndoom, and I have no reason to not fire off a Flamethrower in the sun. It will do quite some damage even to the Melodic. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna bring it in right now, as it does, so I have a completely safe switch into the Tangrowth. And all he can do is just, well, he recovers. And of course he could have Ice Beam, but the way he plays it, it seems that he actually does not, which is absolutely fantastic. I go for damage, I go for Power Whip, but I go for knockoff. Yeah, I go for knockoff because I'm expecting a switch actually at this point. And getting rid of Rotom's Scarf or Two-Blade's Evilite or even the AE belt of Weavile is pretty huge. And now I go for, I believe, Power Whip because I cocked and Bullet Seed with 2 hits won't KO. So I get fully powered, so I have to switch out into Scum and just hope that I can get the first Wake. But as you can see, now I actually don't. So I died to next Icicle Grass, but it doesn't matter because now I'm back in the. I have the momentum back right now. I can bring in my Mega Houndoom, and the Weavile won't be able to do anything to me. So in comes the Melodic, and I can just fire off some damage to it. Actually, I go for Flamethrower just in case he wants to stay in and fire off a low kick possibly, and or switch into. I mean, why would he? Like Melodic was easily his best play, but I was pretty tired when I played, so there's that as well. And I got back into my Tangrowth, and I believe I go now for Power Whip. Because last time I went for the knockoff, so I thought that he may fear that again, but he actually switches into the dual blade. And what I can do is just go for knockoff, as Sacred Sword does absolutely nothing, and I actually didn't calc it, but it seems that he's pretty defensive set. He goes for Shadow Claw, does a little bit more but not much, and I can just for a huge damage with Earthquake, and I'm getting very close to the point where I possibly can set up with Cloister. All I need anymore is basically to do damage to the Melodic, and actually Tangrowth is so low that I have to switch into Houndoom, hoping he goes for Shadow Claw, but he goes for Sacred Sword, but it doesn't matter because I'm able to leave that hit, which indicates even more that the Dual Blade wasn't offensive at all. So I'm able to finish him off with the Dark Pulse, and I fire just another Dark Pulse at the Melodic, and I bring in my Tangrowth because once again it just it basically gets a kill at this point. Melodic is easily at the range where even a fully defensive set won't take Power Whip from me, and that's actually true also for the Rotom. So Adamant Power Whip doing some real work here, and in comes the Weavile, and I'm making a very interesting play here. I mean, I don't know if it's interesting because it's my best play here. I switch into my Cloister because it can pretty easily take an Ice Shot. It has very nice natural defense, and what I'm going to do now is actually I'm gonna set up a sub. I don't know why. Well, maybe in case he wants to switch out. I don't know why he would switch out. Anyway, low kick. I mean, I calculate low kick won't bring me down to the range where where I can't get up a sub, but it could have critted, so it was a bad play from me. But I go for Razor Shell, being a douche, because I'm pretty sure that I had no reason to risk the miss there. Now I go for Shell Smash just in case he wants to recover, and I think this is the best play here because he goes for Scald. But if he had gone for recovery, it would have been better for me to have the Shell Smash up and just do a lot of damage so that the recovery wouldn't be as effective. And now I just decide to bring in my Duck Trio and Memento, so that Tangrowth wouldn't have to risk any any possible paras or crits or anything like that, possible ice beams, whatever. So I just bring in my Tangrowth, and at this point the fact that I didn't check the calcs earlier kinda comes into play. First, of course, he gets a crit para. How convenient. Next called, okay, no crits, no para. Do I hit the power whip? I do, and it's a clean one shot. So, like, I'm not even sure if this information would have made a difference, knowing that power whip actually KOs the Milotic. Probably not. I don't know. Anyway, I win. Dork 1-0. I didn't want to I could have gone straight into junk growth to preserve differential, but honestly I wanted the win more than to risk the risk like getting a Paradan critted and so on. So I think Memento was the best play because it really gave me a lot of security, pretty much. But GG Dork, it was a fun match definitely, and I'm glad in the end I went with this very fun team. I made another team, but it just didn't work in prep battle, so I went with this original one, and it worked out very nicely. I'm glad that I actually got my son action going on as well, and you know, I don't know what TJG has in mind for me, but now he at least knows that I can utilize the full spectrum of my roster. So beware. I will challenge you next week, and that will be hopefully a very, very nice, cool, fun battle. So look forward to that. This is Stipe signing out. Bye.